Mr. Battalion, your full name is Ira Battalion Jr.? Ira C. Battalion Jr. How are you doing, Mr. Battalion? That's good. Mr. Battalion, you're representing your case by your attorney, Sean Villery Samuel.
Yes.
Attorney Villery Samuel, how are you doing?
Doing well, Judge.
State is represented in this case by Attorney Kobe Hallpower. Attorney Hallpower, how are you doing?
Good, Your Honor, thanks.
Mr. Hallpower, I have before me a motion to dismiss this case, and the state is dismissing this case. Is that correct?
That's correct, Bill.
And the court has just signed this motion to dismiss. Mr. Battalion, your attorney is going to get a copy of this dismissal. Once you get a copy of the dismissal from your attorney, you'll be free to go, and you have a blessed day. And you have a blessed day as well, Mr. Villery Samuel.
Yes, sir.
All right. And we're praying for you for.
Thank you.
All right. Okay.
If they're all.
Jefferson County Court at Law number 2 is back in session. The court is in session in 4 cases. The first case is cause number M324360. Second case is cause number 23CCCR or 1116. Third case is cause number M332004. And the fourth case is cause number M333070. All 4 cases are styled the state of Texas versus Kevin Lamont Rollins. Mr. Rollins is appearing via Zoom. Mr. Rollins, you can take your mic off of mute. Mr. Rollins, how are you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. How you doing?
I'm doing fine. Thanks for asking.
Yes,
Mr.
sir.
Rollins, you're represented in this case in one case by your attorney, James Paget. Attorney Paget, how are you doing?
Doing well. Good morning, Your Honor.
Good morning. Mr. Paget, I see here that you represent Mr. Rollins on one of his 4 cases. Is that
It
correct?
should be on all of them, Your Honor.
Okay, Trina?
I didn't see an attorney representing the other.
Okay, there should be, but I'm on all of them, and I've been communicating with Mr. Hallpower, so we'll take care of that.
Judge,
Paperwork, we'll take care of that.
I believe I'm getting an offer, but he's got 4, obviously, but the state's going to request that, if we get a resetting, that it's not over Zoom, the defendant be here in
He'll
person.
be here in person on the next setting. I'll have everything tightened up on the letters of rep on all of them,
Okay,
and then we'll work these cases out.
okay.
I just think really we probably have the last 1 or so to figure out some things on.
That's fine, Judge. We are going to do that, and I agree with everything Mr. Paget says. I just want the defendant instructed to be here. We can't do it by Zoom.
Okay,
Yeah, and he's aware of that.
okay, now, Mr. Rollins, okay, we're gonna give us a reset date.
September 25th.
Okay, these cases will be reset to September 25th of 2023. We need to make sure we have those letters of rep.
Okay.
And Mr. Rollins, stay in contact with your attorney, Mr. Paget. Our next court date is September 25th, 2023. You need to be here in person on that date. That's at 9 a.m. in the morning.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so stay in contact with your attorney, your bondsman, you're free to go. and you have a blessed day.
Yes, sir. You too. Thank you.
And Mr. Paget, let's see, we have Mr. Hernandez.
I'm not sure.
Is,
You have an interview.
you have Cameron Brown is also appearing via Zoom.
Top left.
Mr. Brown, you can take your mic off of mute.
Yes, sir.
Okay, Mr. Brown, how are you doing?
All right, how you doing, sir?
I'm doing fine. Thanks for asking, Mr. Brown. You're represented in your case by your attorney, James Paget, Attorney Paget. What is your announcement in Mr. Brown's case?
Your Honor, this was Moore's case, Mr. Johnson's case, so
Okay,
I'm going to need an offer from Ms. Porter. I'm quite certain we can work the case out.
okay. So, hold on a minute.
Right down.
Let's see.
If that's the case. then
This is first time on the trial.
Like after lunch, maybe.
Let me see his file.
Thank you very much.
And at the file, I see this case has been, you say you haven't received an offer?
That's correct. This was Mr. Johnson's case. We had some issues when we were in here last time, so we put it on the trial docket. I do not believe it's going to be a trial. Also, we did not have the DVD when we were in here last time, and it had been reset quite a few times. So we put it on the trial docket. In the meantime, I received the video evidence
So I see that you have requested
last week.
actually, I see here, you have requested the video
That's
evidence
correct. Quite a
back in,
time.
July 22 July 22nd of 2022.
That's correct. And I finally received it just a few
And,
weeks ago.
see, we had it been reset like 8 times
I understand.
and you still hadn't got an offer.
That's correct.
I'll give him an offer today. He'll get an offer and momentarily. I'll make sure. This is the first time I've gotten a request formally, but I'll give him an
Okay.
offer today.
Because we never could get the video evidence, Your Honor. I can catch up to speed with this one. This is a case where we never could get the video evidence, and I requested it numerous times. But within the past couple of weeks, I received a call and the DVD was ready. So I went and picked it up and I have it here in the file with me now.
Last time we were, I remember talking about it.
It goes back way.
I went to Kevin, well, I mean, but like, since
Yeah,
Lamar's been gone, I've checked with Karen and we got it straight, so we got it ready.
Okay. So now,
there's no
Mr.
delay here. I just want you to know, we've been trying to move forward on this for quite a while.
Okay, now the, Mr. Brown, he needs to be here in person, in our next court setting.
Oh, the case will be disposed of on the next.
Okay. So give us a,
The evidence.
give us a trial date.
September 11, or you want to do it on September 25th?
If we could do the 25th, I just have one other case scheduled. I just want to make sure I can
Okay.
get this my full attention. If that's
Okay.
with you.
That's fine.
30 days.
Now, Mr. Brown, your case is reset on the trial docket to September of 2023. On that day, you need to be in court in person.
You said September
He broke up.
what?
I'll give you the date, Mr. Brown.
He just,
Okay.
it's gonna be September 25th,
Okay, thank you.
and you need to be here in person.
Yes, sir.
All right. Stay in contact with your attorney, your advisor. You're free to go, and you have a blessed day.
You too.
All right. Jefferson County Court at Law number 2 is back in session. The court is in session and calls number M332252. Case is style the state of Texas versus Anna Christina Troxel.
Quiet, please.
Excuse me, Anna Christina Hernandez. Ms. Hernandez is appearing via Zoom. Ms. Hernandez? I think she's V50. Ms. Hernandez, can you hear me? Let's go to the next case. Next case is files number M334084. Case is style the state of Texas versus Luke Andrew Troxel. Mr. Troxel, would you please come forward? Mr. Troxel, your full name is Luke Andrew Troxel?
That's correct.
Okay, Mr. Troxel, would you please raise your right hand? Mr. Troxel, do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth to help you God?
Absolutely.
Okay, you may put your hand down. How are you doing, Mr. Troxel?
Pretty good.
That's good. Mr. Troxel, I have before me, well, your attorney, Mr. James Paget. Mr. Paget, do you waive a record in Mr. Troxel's case?
I do, Your Honor.
Mr. Troxel, I have before me a document that is titled Information. This information alleges that on or about November 10th of 2022, while you were operating a motor vehicle in a public place in Jefferson County, Texas, that you committed the Class A misdemeanor offense of driving while intoxicated with an alcohol concentration level of 0.15 or more. Mr. Troxel, do you understand what you've been charged with?
Yes, sir.
And to this charge, Mr. Troxel, how do you plead guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
No contest.
No contest? Somebody need to check one of these boxes. They didn't check the boxes up there.
Oh. This is the same thing initially. So nothing else is being changed, right?
Now, Mr. Troxel, are you pleading no contest freely and voluntarily? And are you pleading no contest because you do not wish to fight or contest the charges?
The contested charge. Do you want to fight or contest this case, or do you want to go forward on the plea? I only want to move forward on the plea.
Okay, so you pleading no contest, is that correct? Okay, now, Mr. Troxel, I also have before me a document that is titled Misdemeanor Plea Admonishment. Do you recognize this document?
Yes, sir.
On page 2 of this same document, there are a set of initials, LT, that are on a line next to a box that's checked nolo contendere, which means no contest. Are these your initials?
That's correct.
Okay. On page 3 of this same document, there's a signature above this document that is titled Defendant. Is this your signature?
Yes, sir.
On the next document that's titled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Right of Appeal, do you recognize this document? And is this your signature on the line that's titled Defendant?
Absolutely.
Okay. And at the top of this document, there are 2 boxes that's checked. The first box that's checked states that this is a plea bargain case and you have no right of appeal. Do you understand that statement?
Yes, sir.
The second box that's checked states that you're waiving your right to an appeal, which means you are giving up your right to an appeal. Do you understand that statement?
Yes, sir.
I also have before me a document that is titled Discovery Certification. Do you recognize this document?
Yes, sir.
And is this your signature on the line that is titled Defendant?
Absolutely.
Now, Mr. Troxel, before you signed and initialed these documents, did your attorney, Mr. Paget, go over these documents with you?
Absolutely.
And did you read and understand everything that Mr. Paget went over?
Absolutely.
Okay, now, Mr.
They'd like to offer.
Okay, now, Mr. Troxel, are you a citizen of the United States?
Absolutely.
Okay, now state, would you like to offer state's exhibit number 1, the misdemeanor plea admonishment, and state's exhibit number 2,
Yes,
the
sir.
probable cause affidavit?
Yes, sir.
No objections.
No
to statements
objections?
1 or 2.
No objection, state's exhibits 1 and 2 are admitted. Mr. Paget, you have advised and counseled Mr. Troxel. Is there any evidence that he is currently mentally incompetent to stand trial?
No, Your Honor.
And Mr. Troxel, your attorney, Mr. Paget, had advised and counseled you. Are you satisfied with his representation?
Absolutely, sir.
And has he provided full, effective, and competent legal representation?
Absolutely.
Okay, now, Mr. Troxel, I will accept your plea of no contest. I will find that you are mentally competent to stand trial. I will also find that your plea and waivers were freely and voluntarily given. And I will also find that there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. State, do we have a plea bargain agreement?
Do you know?
And what is that agreement?
In exchange for plea of guilty or no contest, states agree to recommend 90 days probated for 1 year. Another fine, court costs, 80 hours community-based service, WI conditions, and interlock device.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to put. I don't have a name. I'm looking.
Mr. Troxel, the state is offering that you serve 90 days in the Jefferson County Jail. However, you would not have to serve any time in the Jefferson County Jail on this case because you'll be placed on probation for 1 year. During that 1 year probation, you'll be required to pay a fine of $1,000 plus court costs of $407. You will also be required to pay a probation fee of $60 each month, a urinalysis fee of $15 each month, and a reimbursement fee of $15. You will also be required to pay a DWI education and initial evaluation fee of $125 on the day of the plea. Should a further evaluation be needed, you'll be required to pay an additional $50. Your total monthly installments, that is, the total amount that you'll be required to pay each month while you're on probation, is $211. Will you be able to pay the $211 each month?
Absolutely, sir.
Okay, now, Mr. Troxel, you'll also be required to perform 80 hours of community service. You'll be required to attend and complete a DWI education class, have a drug and alcohol assessment, and install an interlock device on any vehicle that you own or operate. And you will also be required to adhere to the other standard terms and condition of this DWI probation. Now, Mr. Troxel, do you understand the state's offer?
Absolutely, sir.
Okay, and do you think that the state's offer in your case is fair and just?
Absolutely, sir.
Okay, now, Mr. Troxel, I'll follow the plea bargaining agreement. Now, let me do it back up. Do you accept the state's offer? Okay, now, Mr. Troxel, I'll follow the plea bargaining agreement that you have entered into with the state. Mr. Troxel, this will conclude your case. You're gonna stand on the X next to your attorney, follow the directions of our clerk. Once you finish following her directions, you'll be free to go, and you have a blessed day. You have Ms. Hernandez.
She
Yeah.
says she can't hear you. I didn't know if you might have her muted or,
I don't have a mute. She must not have a audio on.
you know, I could call her here and put her on speaker.
Yeah, that's fine. Cause she was having.
Hello?
Yeah, Miss, okay, this is cause number M 332-252, case of style of state of Texas versus Ana Cristina Hernandez. Ms. Hernandez is appearing via Zoom. Ms. Hernandez, how are you doing?
I'm doing good. Can you hear me?
Yes,
Okay, I'm doing good. How about yourself?
you're doing fine. Now, Ms. Hernandez, you're represented in your case by your attorney, James Paget. Attorney Paget, what is your announcement in Ms. Hernandez's case?
This case will go on your plea docket, Your Honor. Ms. Porter and I are communicating, and we will have this case removed.
It's on the pretrial docket, okay.
Next same day.
She said, do you want the same date?
25th is fine.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Okay, this case will be set.
Yes.
Ms. Hernandez, your case will be set till September 25th, 2023. On that day, you need to be here in person in court. Your attorney is going to be given notice of your reset and your bondsman. Stay in contact with your attorney, your bondsman. Ms. Hernandez, you're free to go, and you have a blessed day.
You too, sir. Thank you very much.
Okay, you're welcome. And Mr. Paget, I think this is your last case? Okay, you're free to go as well, and you have a blessed day.
Thank you.
Okay. Jefferson County Court at Law number 2 is back in session. The court is in session with 2 cases. First case is cause number M333790. Second case is cause number M331318. Case is styled the state of Texas versus Donald Glenn Grisham. Mr. Grisham, is that your full name? How are you doing, Mr. Grisham? I'm doing fine. Mr. Grisham, would you please raise your right hand? Mr. Grisham, do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? Mr. Grisham, you may put your hand down. Mr. Grisham, you're represented in your case, on your cases by your attorney, Attorney Mark Faggett. Attorney Faggett, how are you doing?
I'm good, Your Honor. Thank you for asking.
You're welcome. Now, Mr. Faggett, do you waive a record in Mr. Grisham's cases?
We do, Your Honor.
Mr. Grisham, in cause number M333790, I have before me a document that is titled Information. This information, Mr. Grisham, was filed by the Jefferson County District Attorney's Office. In this information, it alleges that you, Donald Glenn Grisham, on or about January 3rd of 2021, while you were in Jefferson County, Texas, that you committed the Class B misdemeanor offense of driving while intoxicated. Mr. Grisham, do you understand what you've been charged with?
Yes, sir.
And to this charge, Mr. Grisham, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
No problem.
Now, you pleaded no contest freely and voluntarily? And are you pleading no contest because you do not wish to fight or contest the charges? Mr. Grisham, I also have before me a document that is titled Misdemeanor Plea Admonishments. Mr. Grisham, do you recognize this document? Okay, on page 2 of the same document, there are a set of initials, DG, on a line next to a box that's checked nolo contendere, which means no contest. Did you place your initials on this document?
Yes, sir.
On page 3 of this same document, there's a signature above the line that is titled defendant. Is this your signature?
Yes, sir.
On the next document that's titled trial court certification of defendant's right of appeal, do you recognize this document?
Yes, sir.
And is this your signature on the line that is titled defendant? At the top of this document, there are 2 boxes that's checked. The first box that's checked states that this is a plea bargain case and you have no right of appeal. Do you understand that statement?
Right.
The second box that's checked states that you're waiving your right to an appeal, which means you're giving up your right to an appeal. Do you understand that statement?
Yes, sir.
I also have before me a document that is titled Discovery Certification. Recognize this document?
Yes, sir.
And is this your signature on the line that is titled defendant?
Right.
Mr. Grisham, before you signed and initialed all of these documents that I just showed you, did your attorney, Mr. Faggett, go over these documents with you?
Yes,
And did you read and understand everything that Mr. Faggett went over?
yes, sir.
And is everything in these documents true and correct to the best of your knowledge?
Sure is.
Mr. Grisham, are you a citizen of the United States?
Yes.
State, I have before me States Exhibit number 1. State, would you like to offer States Exhibit number 1?
Yes, sir.
And States Exhibit number 2, the probable cause affidavit?
Yes, sir.
Any objections?
None, Your Honor.
No objections. States Exhibits 1 and 2 are admitted. Mr. Faggett, you've advised in counsel, Mr. Grisham, is there any evidence that he is currently mentally incompetent to stand trial?
None, Your Honor. He's actually been a joy to work with. He's been very respectful and polite, does what you ask him.
Okay. Now, Mr. Grisham, your attorney, Mr. Faggett has advised and counseled you. Are you satisfied with his representation?
Yes, sir.
Has he provided full, effective, and competent legal representation?
Yes.
Mr. Grisham, I will accept your plea of no contest. I will find that you are mentally competent to stand trial. I will also find that your plea and waivers were freely and voluntarily given. And I will also find that there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. State, do we have a plea bargain agreement?
We do, Your Honor.
And what is that agreement?
In exchange for a plea of guilty or no contest, states agree to recommend 90 days in Jefferson County Jail, probated for 1 year, $1,000 fine and court costs, 80 hours community service. Standard DWI conditions, Your Honor, and then also in exchange for a plea on this case, states agreed to dismiss the companion case, cause number M331318.
Mr. Becker, you were appointed on these cases?
I was, Your Honor.
Okay. Mr. Grisham, the state is offering that you serve 90 days in the Jefferson County Jail. However, you would not have to serve any time in the Jefferson County Jail on this case because you'll be placed on probation for a period of 1 year. During the 1 year probationary period, you'll be required to pay a fine of $1,000 plus court costs of $452. You'll be required to pay $60 each month for probation fee. You'll be required to pay $15 each month for your analysis fee. You'll be required to pay a $15 reimbursement fee, and you'll be required to reimburse the Jefferson County court-appointed attorney's fees of $300. The total monthly installments, that is, the total amount that you'll be required to pay each month while you're on probation is $242 a month. Mr. Grisham, will you be able to pay the $242 each month? You'll also be required to perform 80 hours of community service, attend and complete a DWI education class, have a drug and alcohol assessment, and you will also be required to adhere to the other standard terms and conditions of this probation. Cause number M331318, the companion case, will also be dismissed as part of this plea bargain agreement. Mr. Grisham, do you understand the state's offer?
Yes, sir.
And do you think that the state's offer in your case is fair and just? And do you accept the state's offer?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Grisham, I'll follow the plea bargain agreements that you have entered into with the state. Mr. Grisham, please stand next to your attorney and follow the directions of our clerk. Once you finish following her directions, you'll be free to go, and you have a blessed day.
Thank you, sir. You did sign.
And also, Mr. Grisham, I'm signing the dismissal. You'll be able to get a copy of the dismissal from your attorney. And Mr. Faggett, is this your only case? Last case?
I have one, but he's on, and Alan Williams, I think, but he's on the felony docket today.
He's in custody.
Okay.
Do I need to wait around on that?
No, do you want us to, if it's reset, you want us to reset it with the felony case?
That'd be great. Yes, Your Honor.
Now, if it's disposed of, we'll probably set it for Thursday on our jail run doc.
That'll be fine. Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was looking for Mr. Sherlander. He must be outside. Okay,
Signed his gun.
yeah, I see that. Let's see, we got, Mr. Galmore. This is cause number M330466, excuse me. Let me repeat that, cause number M330446. Case is filed in the state of Texas versus Christopher Paul Aviles. Mr. Aviles is appearing via Zoom. Mr. Aviles, you can take your mic off of mute. Okay, Mr. Aviles, how are you doing?
Hanging in there, Your Honor.
Okay, that's good. Now, Mr. Aviles,
Yes, sir.
you're represented in your case by your attorney, Dustin Galmore. Attorney Galmore, how are you doing?
Great, Judge. How are you today?
I'm doing fine. Now, Mr. Galmore, I was looking here. I see here that you represent him on this case, and there's a note on the docket that there's a new case.
There is, Judge. And we were going to ask to continue this to another announcement so we can combine the two cases and try to get them resolved at the same time.
That's fine, Judge. I spoke to Mr. Galmore about it. I informed him about it. I have a request though from the court that Mr. Avila is no longer be by Zoom. He needs to come. And I think his arraignment is scheduled pretty soon. It's coming on the new case.
Okay,
So, but he can't, the state doesn't want any more remote. He needs to be here. We got two DWIs now.
okay. So, Mr. Aviles,
Yes, I do have a court date, I believe, on next Monday.
oh, this is that case where, now this was like occurred before, the other one, I forgot it was,
Judge, I don't have
I must have my cases.
So either way, it
Okay,
be two pending.
okay. Now, Mr. Aviles, you need to be here in person. On that date. What date is that?
Now, Judge, I believe.
Oh, this is on the trial docket.
Correct. And I believe the other court setting is just an arraignment, so that would change, I imagine, when we rep it.
Right.
Unless that's already.
Yeah, you're gonna have to take that out the system. Now,
But with there being two cases, I don't see a need to leave this on the trial docket. I think it would.
I think we,
this had to be before this DWI second because it would be a third.
well, yeah,
Not if you're not convicted.
not the convicted, he's just got a pending one. So,
Oh, okay.
so he's only got one, but that's true. But what we need to discuss, and we're gonna discuss maybe, we may have two trials or we may have a plea agreement dealing with both of them. But it needs to be taken off the trial docket right now, if that's all right. The old one,
Oh,
the one that's on it now.
Well, hold on a minute.
Is that right?
Hold on a minute.
We could send them both for announcement in about.
Hold on a
30
minute.
weeks.
Let me do this here. This is on the trial docket. Of the last.
That-
Yeah, this is, you saying taking it off of this case been on the trial docket for a while.
But if the court wants to leave it on trial docket.
Yeah, man, we're gonna have to move something because,
well, we think we're gonna work something out, but if not, leave it on. I don't mind. We're ready to do his new one, but he just got another one.
reasonable common sense. Attorney, he doesn't have no bond conditions in this case?
Yes,
No, I'm looking at his docket. I'm looking at it right now. Hold on a minute. Hold on a minute. Might be on the wrong one. Yeah, this case been reset 2 minutes, yeah.
Yeah, and
Now, this is gonna be on the trial docket.
Right.
And then, Mr. Velez, hold on, give me some bond conditions. Yeah,
I have my interlock device on.
okay, well, I'm gonna make sure that we have it in here.
could have had it when we did able to
Yeah, he must have,
visit the second. He could have.
the first one was the second. No,
That's
no,
what I'm saying.
yeah.
He could have got.
he might have got it from there, but I'm gonna make sure here, because we should be having a bond here. That's what we should be having. But we don't have any paperwork in the file showing that he was required to have that as a condition of bond. Yeah, they didn't put any paperwork in the, if they did it at the jail. Let me see, this is cause numbers M33046 and cause number 23CCCR0478. Oh, let me do this here. Give me the tablet again. I need to give him a different one. Need to give him one. Give me that other one up there too. Okay, now, Mr. Velez,
Yes, Your Honor.
cause numbers M330446 and cause number 23CCCR0478. The court is going to give you some bond conditions. Court is going to give you standard bond conditions in County Court at Law number 2. And the bond conditions reads as follows. Following the return of a criminal information in County Court at Law number 2 of Jefferson County, Texas, all bail bonds executed for release of any defendant named herein are ordered subject to the additional conditions. Number 1, the defendant shall commit no offense against the laws of this state, any other state, or of the United States. Do you understand that condition?
Yes, Your Honor.
And condition number 2, the defendant shall submit to testing for drugs and alcohol at any time as directed by the court. The court may revoke the bond and order the arrest of any defendant who A, refuses to submit to a test for drugs and alcohol when directed to do so by the court, or B, submit to a test for drugs and alcohol, and the test indicates the presence of drugs or alcohol in the defendant's body. And that's pursuant to the Texas Code of Criminal Procedure, Article 17.44, Section A2 and Section C2. Do you understand that condition?
Yes, Your Honor.
Now, condition number 3 doesn't apply. Condition number 4 does apply. Condition number 4 states that a defendant who information charges a subsequent offense listed under Section 49.04 through 49.06 of the Texas Penal Code, which is what you're charged with, shall not operate any motor vehicle unless the vehicle is equipped with an interlock device mechanism that makes impractical the operation of the vehicle if ethyl alcohol is detected in the breath of the operation and said, or in the breath of the operator, and said device shall be installed at the defendant's expense with written verification of such installation being submitted to the court owner before. You say you already have one, so you're gonna have to submit that to us on today. Do you understand that?
Submitted today.
Get a copy of it to your attorney. You should have a receipt or the application that you made that they gave you when you got the interlock. Is that correct?
Probably have some, but I have to get it calibrated today anyhow, so if it works.
Okay, that's good.
Get something.
Okay, so once you get that paperwork, get that to your attorney, or you can get it to the court directly. We can I can have the court coordinator give you the fax number if you want to do it that way.
Well, I was just gonna email it somehow.
Okay.
Email.
Okay, your attorney said he'll get it from you.
Okay.
Now, also, now, where do you live in Jefferson County?
It's important, H's.
Okay, now, you're gonna be required to attend AA, NA meetings.
Yeah, I entered the health step program last December.
Okay, well, you're gonna be required to attend AA, NA meetings at least 2 times or twice a week and provide proof when you come to court.
Yes, sir.
Okay, and also you're gonna be required to enter and complete the ATAR program at Spindletop. They have a drug and alcohol counseling program. You need to participate in that program. Okay,
Spindletop, is that place on on 9th Avenue?
I think they do have one on 9th Avenue in Port Arthur. Okay, now we will now if you violate any one of these terms or conditions of this bond, your bond is going to be revoked. And if your bond is revoked, a warrant will be issued for your arrest and you'll be placed in the Jefferson County Jail. Do you understand that?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Your case is going to be reset. What's that reset date?
We're keeping that one on the trial.
We're gonna keep both. We're gonna reset both of them at the same time.
Well, he's got an arraignment. They have an arraignment.
Remember we talked about
He's-
this week, saying that one on your right side.
Right. Well,
We can put them both together in
Man, it-
3 weeks.
Monday would place it on whatever this trial docket is, but he needs to be for arraignment.
right. He'll come for the arraignment docket, but we're gonna keep him on the trial docket. And so once he come in for arraignment, then we'll place it with the other case. And then we need to get you have a letter of rep on that one?
Honestly, I don't know. No,
Yeah, you would have to get the court a letter of
we'll
rep.
get it
And they
done.
need to change, you can get it in before.
Okay, we'll get it in there.
August
Okay, you say August the 8th, on trial docket?
9/11.
That sounds good.
9/11.
Okay, this case is gonna be reset to September 11th for trial. And Mr. Aviles, you need to be here in person.
So with the one that's the court date I have next Monday, is that still
Yes, you still have to be here Monday.
in person?
It's not Monday, it's Tuesday. It's Tuesday, arraignments is on Tuesdays. Okay,
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry, yeah, Tuesday.
okay, so you need to be here on Tuesday, and then your attorney, Mr. Galmore says he's gonna be hired on that case, and he's gonna get the court a letter of representation on that case as well.
Okay.
All right, all right. So you're free to go, and you have a blessed day.
You too, Your Honor.
Okay. Okay. I think you have Miss.
Mr. Gallagher and
Sampson.
Mr. Sampson.
Patrick Gallagher. Mr. Gallagher, you can come forward. This is cause number M327596, case of style of state of Texas versus Patrick Gallagher. Mr. Gallagher, is that your full name?
Yeah.
How are you doing, Mr. Gallagher?
I'm fantastic. How you doing?
Oh, I'm doing fine.
Fantastic.
That's good. Now, Mr. Gallagher, you're represented in your case by your attorney, Dustin Galmore. Attorney Galmore. Ken, how are you doing?
I'm great, Judge. How are you?
I'm doing fine. And the state is represented by Ms. Erica Porter. Ms. Porter, how are you doing?
Doing great, Your Honor, thank you.
Ms. Porter, what is your announcement in Mr. Gallagher's case?
Judge, we've got a new offer I want to talk to Mr. Gallagher about. I really do think that it's going to help us move the case, and so I don't see that we're going to need a trial. So if the court will just give me.
I'll hold it. I'll hold
If
it.
we can't do something.
Okay, I'll hold it. Okay.
I'm going to have to run to the south for just a minute.
Okay.
But I still think we could maybe do that.
Okay, that's fine. All right. Okay, we'll hold on. Okay. Now, is Rats James Ratson.
I believe that's already been continued or resent.
We'll put a motion for continuance and do a
We received a
handle
new,
it.
we received a new court date on as well, so, he's not here, I believe it's there already.
It's still on the docket. I never signed the motion. So the state has filed a motion for continuance. Okay,
Yeah, well, I'm not sure.
and yeah, you didn't have no objections?
I have no objection.
Let's see.
Yeah, all right.
You gonna give him a reset date?
Sounds great.
Okay, Stephen Sampson. Okay, this is Stephen Anthony Sampson, number M331406. You didn't. Okay, well,
That
we'll
was
do.
long for jail.
I'll call him, Judge. I spoke with him yesterday, so I expected him to either be here or on Zoom. So let me see if there's a problem.
Okay, we'll give you time to make
If
contact.
I, just because we're here, Judge, I just want to let the court know, I was conveyed a new offer. I will talk to him just about moving that case. If we're not able to move that case, we are ready for trial, but I have federal court tomorrow at 2 and 2:30 in Judge Crone's court. I would expect that to last probably an hour. So it would either be late tomorrow or I would be available the remainder of the week. Just have that.
But once we get the trial order, we'll let you know.
Okay, thank you, Judge. And I will be back.
Okay. Okay, next case is cause number M332980. Case is style of state of Texas versus Darrell Wayland Nichols. Yes, Nichols, Darrell Nichols.
Yeah. So, this is it, yeah. So we need to determine if the clerk needs to put it on there, if he's going in today or what.
Well, this is the one I was gonna ask the judge, I'll let him do them on the weekends.
So,
So,
but I gotta have it, we can.
Understand.
So did y'all got the paperwork ready?
It's ready, but it doesn't
it's
have the
ready,
date
it
of
doesn't have the date,
court date.
he appears, he goes to jail.
Well, y'all need to,
And that needs to be determined by you, Judge, where.
okay, well, y'all,
30
okay,
days, okay,
It's
were you gonna
30
do
days.
weekends or is that too much? So I think go to the court.
yeah, okay, let me do this here. Darrell, that's Nichols. Hmm? Yeah. Jefferson County. I'm gonna need his affidavit indigence as well. Jefferson County Court at Law number 2 is back in session. The court is in session in cause number M332980. cases style, state of Texas. So it's acted up. Meanwhile, Odyssey.
Oh, no, that's in there. Oh, she had that.
Okay. Thank you. Nichols. Okay, the court is back in session. The cause number M332980. The case is styled the state of Texas versus Darrell Whalen Nichols. Mr. Nichols, is that your full name?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Nichols, would you please raise your right hand? Mr. Nichols, do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth to help you God?
Yes.
Mr. Nichols, you may put your hand down. How are you doing, Mr. Nichols?
Fine, how are you?
I'm doing fine. Thanks for asking. Mr. Nichols, you're represented in your case by your attorney, Attorney John Macy. Attorney Macy, how are you doing?
I'm fine, Your Honor. Thanks for asking.
And Mr. Macy, do you waive a record in Mr. Nichols' case?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Nichols, I have before me a document that is titled information. This information was filed by the Jefferson County District Attorney's Office. In this information, it alleges that you, Darrell Whalen Nichols, on or about July 16 of 2022, while you were in Jefferson County, Texas, that you committed the Class B misdemeanor offense of accident involving damage to vehicle. Mr. Nichols, do you understand what you've been charged with?
Yes, sir.
And to this charge, Mr. Nichols, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, and no contest?
Yes, sir.
Now, you pleading no contest freely and voluntarily?
Yes, sir.
And are you pleading no contest because you do not wish to fight or contest the charges?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Nichols, I also have before me a document that is titled Misdemeanor Plea Admonishment. Do you recognize this document?
Yes, sir.
On page 2 of the same document, there are a set of initials, DN, on a line next to a box that's checked NOLA contingent, which means no contest. Did you place your initials on this document?
Yes, sir.
On page 3 of the same document, there is a signature above the line that is titled defendant. Is this your signature?
Yes, sir.
On the next document is titled trial court certification of defendant's right of appeal. Do you recognize this document?
Yes, sir.
And is this your signature on the line that's titled defendant?
Yes, sir.
There are 2 boxes that's checked at the top of this document. The first box that's checked states that this is a plea bargain case and you have no right of appeal. Do you understand that statement?
Yes, sir.
Second box says check states that you are waiving your right to an appeal, which means you're giving up your right to an appeal. Do you understand that statement?
Yes, sir.
Do we have the discovery certification?
Do go. Make Nichols.
Okay, thanks. Mr. Nichols, I also have before me a document that is titled Discovery Certification. Do you recognize this document?
Yes, sir.
And is this your signature on the line that's titled defendant? Mr. Nichols, before you signed and initialed these documents, did you read these documents?
Yes, sir.
And did you understand what you read?
Yes, sir.
And did your attorney go over these documents?
Yes, sir.
And did you understand everything that your attorney went over?
Yes, sir.
And is everything in these documents true and correct to the best of your knowledge?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Nichols, are you a citizen of the United States?
Yes, sir.
State, I have before me State's Exhibit number 1, the misdemeanor plea admonishment, and State's Exhibit number 2, the probable cause affidavit, which is in the court's file. State, would you like to offer State's Exhibits 1 and 2?
Yes, sir.
Any objections?
No objection, Your Honor.
No objections. State's Exhibits 1 and 2 are admitted. Mr. Macy, you've advised and counseled Mr. Nichols. Is there any evidence that he is currently mentally incompetent to stand trial?
No, Your Honor.
And Mr. Nichols, your attorney, Mr. Macy, has advised and counseled you. Are you satisfied with his representation?
Yes, Your Honor.
Has he provided full, effective, and competent legal representation?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Nichols, I will accept your plea of no contest. I will find that you are mentally competent to stand trial. I will also find that your plea and waivers were freely and voluntarily given. And I will also find that there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. State, do we have a plea bargain agreement?
Do you know?
And what is that agreement?
Exchange for plea of guilty and no contest. States you recommend 30 days in Jefferson County jail and court costs. But that's credit for 2 days.
I was gonna see if I can do it on weekend.
Just hold on a minute. Mr. Nichols, let's see. the state is offering that you serve 30 days in the Jefferson County Jail. You will be given credit for the 2 days that you have already served. Now, the court cost in this case is $292. Will you be able to pay the $290? Okay, now, Mr. Nichols, you'll be serving 30 days in Jefferson County Jail. You'll be given credit for 2 days. You will be required to pay the court costs of $292. And your jail time is to begin on August 4th, 2023 at or before 6 p.m.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so there'll be jail time on weekends and there'll be consecutive weekends.
Okay.
And you're gonna serve consecutive weekends till your time is complete. Okay, now, Mr. Nichols, again, do you understand the state's offer?
Yes, sir.
Do you think that the state's offer is fair and just?
Yes, sir.
And do you accept the state's offer?
Yes.
Mr. Nichols, I'll follow the people in agreement that you have entered into with the state. Mr. Nichols, you're gonna stand on the X next to you, your attorney, follow the directions of our clerk. Once you follow the directions of the clerk, you'll be free to go. She's gonna give you your paperwork that you need to bring with you when you turn yourself in at the jail. All right,
Thank
you have a blessed day.
Y'all too.
And Mr. Macy, you have any other cases?
No, yeah.
Okay, you have a blessed day as well.
Thank you.
And you're free to go. Okay, yeah, what case, yeah.
It's Williams denied on the announcement, Dr. Judge. It's a felony case.
Is he here?
He's not here, Judge.
He's in custody?
He's actually in rehab.
Okay, you probably can get him on,
You want me to try to?
yeah, you can get him on Zoom.
Okay.
Yeah, you just have, yeah, just
Let me
step
call,
out, okay.
let me call his mom.
You need the Zoom number? She can give you the Zoom number. Okay, let's see, Mr. Johns. You have Sharkita Costley.
Yes, sir.
Oh, so y'all working on it, okay. Let's see, Mr. Let me see, we got somebody on here. Terrence. Victor Guadalupe Ramirez? Okay. You can have him come forward. Okay. Do what? I didn't finish filling them out. Okay. Let me do this here. Did they take the? Memphis County Court at Law number 2 is back in session. The court is in session in 2 cases. First case is cause number M332382, and the second case is cause number M332380. Both cases are styled the state of Texas versus Victor Guadalupe Ramirez. Mr. Ramirez, is that your full name?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Ramirez, would you please raise your right hand? Mr. Ramirez, do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth to help you God? Mr. Ramirez, you may put your hand down. How are you doing, Mr. Ramirez?
Very well. How are you, sir?
I'm doing fine. Thanks for asking. Mr. Ramirez, you represented in your case by your attorney, Nathan Reynolds. Attorney Reynolds, how are you doing?
Doing well, Judge.
And Mr. Reynolds, do you waive a record in Mr. Ramirez cases?
So wait.
Mr. Ramirez, in cause number M332380, I have before me an information. This information was filed by the Jefferson County District Attorney's Office. And in this information, it alleges that you, Victor Guadalupe Ramirez, on or about May 26 of 2022, that you committed the class B misdemeanor offense of driving while intoxicated. Mr. Ramirez, do you understand what you've been charged with?
Yes.
And to this charge, Mr. Ramirez, how do you plead guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
Guilty.
Are you pleading guilty freely and voluntarily?
Yes.
And are you pleading guilty because you are guilty?
Yes.
Mr. Ramirez, I have before me a document that is titled misdemeanor plea. Oh, you gotta check that. Not this document, the DWI box.
Oh, that's true.
You can erase that one. Mr. Ramirez, I have before me a document that is titled misdemeanor plea admonishment. Do you recognize this document?
Yes.
Now, Mr. Ramirez, the box that's checked states that this is a driving while intoxicated first, it's class B misdemeanor. Range of punishment for a class B DWI misdemeanor is minimum 72 hours to maximum of 180 days in Jefferson County Jail, a fine not to exceed $2,000, or you could be given both such fine and confinement. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
Now, on page 2 of this same document, there are a set of initials on a line next to a box that's checked guilty. You place your initials on this document?
Yes, sir.
On page 3 of the same document, there is a signature above the line that is titled defendant. Is this your signature?
Yes.
And on the next document that's titled trial court certification, the defendant's right of appeal, do you recognize this document?
Yes.
And is this your signature on the line that is titled defendant?
Yes.
At the top of this document, there are 2 boxes that's checked. The first box that's checked states that this is a plea bargain case and you have no right of appeal. Do you understand that statement?
Yes.
The second box that's checked states that you're waiving your right to appeal, which means you're giving up your right to an appeal. Do you understand that statement?
Yes.
I also have a document that is titled discovery certification. Do you recognize this document?
Yes.
And is this your signature on the line that's titled defendant?
Yes.
Now, Mr. Ramirez, before you signed and initialed all of these documents that I just showed you, did your attorney, Mr. Reynolds, go over these documents with you?
Yes.
And did you read and understand everything that he went over?
Yes.
And is everything in these documents true and correct to the best of your knowledge?
Yes.
Mr. Ramirez, are you a citizen of the United States?
Yes.
Mr. Ramirez, the state, I have before me state's exhibit number 1. State, would you like to offer state's exhibit number 1 in evidence?
Yes, sir.
Any objections?
No objections, Judge.
No objections. State's exhibit number 1 will be admitted into evidence. Mr. Reynolds, you've advised and counseled Mr. Ramirez. Is there any evidence that he is currently mentally incompetent to stand trial?
None to my knowledge, Judge.
And Mr. Ramirez, your attorney, Mr. Reynolds, has advised and counseled you. Are you satisfied with his representation?
Yes, sir.
Has he provided full, effective, and competent legal representation?
Yes.
Mr. Ramirez, I will accept your plea of guilty. I will find that you are mentally competent to stand trial. I will also find that your plea and waivers were freely and voluntarily given. And I will also find that there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. State, do we have a plea bargain agreement?
Do your honor.
And what is that agreement?
In exchange for plea, guilty no contest, state to be recommend 90 days probated for 1 year, $1,000 fine and court cost, 80 hours community-based service. All other standard term conditions on GWI first offense. Also part of this plea agreement, the state agreed to dismiss the companion case, cause number M332382.
Okay, Mr. Reynolds, were you appointed in these cases?
No, sir.
All right, okay. Okay, Mr. Ramirez, the state is offering that you serve 90 days in the Jefferson County Jail. However, you will not have to serve any time in the Jefferson County Jail in this case because you'll be placed on probation for 1 year. During the 1 year probationary period, you'll be required to pay a fine of $1,000 plus court costs of $467. You'll also be required to pay a probation fee of $60 each month, a urinalysis fee of $15 each month, a reimbursement fee of $15, and you will also be required to pay Jefferson County DWI education and initial evaluation fee of $125 on the day of the plea. Should a further evaluation be needed, you'll be required to pay an additional $50. Now, your total monthly installments, that is the total amount that you'll be required to pay each month while you're on probation, is $217 per month. Will you be able to pay the $217 each month?
Yes.
Mr. Ramirez, you will also be required to perform 80 hours of community service, attend and complete a DWI education class, have a drug and alcohol assessment. You will also be required to adhere to the other standard terms and conditions of DWI probation, and the state will be dismissing the companion case, cause number M332382. Now, Mr. Ramirez, do you understand the state's offer?
Yes.
Do you think that the state's offer in your case is fair and just?
Yes.
And do you accept the state's offer?
Yes.
Mr. Ramirez, I'll follow the plea bargaining agreements that you have entered into with the state. Mr. Ramirez, I'm also signing the dismissal. You're gonna stand on the X next to your attorney, follow the directions of our clerk. And once you finish following her directions, after you get all your paperwork, you'll be free to go and you have a blessed day. And Mr. Reynolds, do you have any other cases?
I was listening to the case of Albert Goss. I think Mr. Rojas is on his case.
Okay,
Yeah, his name's on it now.
okay, okay. Okay, you can stand on the X and follow the directions of the clerk. Yeah, hold on a minute. Yes.
PSK got boundaries. August.
We're sitting for that day.
That dismissal should be coming off. You, Mr. Matuska, you had
Yeah, you just got to reset down the hall.
on,
Sit on some day.
Lewis.
And then Louis Johnson, sorry. Out tonight. Not good. Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay.
We're all right with the reset to the felony.
Okay, Mr. Lewis Lee Johnson, would you please come forward? You can close that door. Mr. Johnson, your full name is Lewis Lee Johnson?
Yes, sir.
Okay, Mr. Johnson, how are you doing? I'm doing fine. Thanks for asking. Mr. Johnson, you are represented in your case by your attorney, Ryan Matuska. Attorney Matuska, how are you doing? Good morning. Now, Mr. Matuska, what is your announcement?
Your Honor, we have a felony reset down the hall for August 28th, I believe. Just asking them to reset.
Okay. You have any objections?
Okay.
State has no objections. Oh, let me see. Then, does he have bond conditions? Mr. Johnson? Hold on a minute. Let me see. Lewis Johnson.
I'm sure he's got my condition on felony.
I'm saying on here. Oh, yeah, he has some. Okay. You can get your reset from your attorney. Once you get your reset from your attorney, you'll be free to go. You have a blessed day. Mr. Johns? Ms. Sure. Keitha Costley? Oh, she. There's two batches.
Yes, one to be dismissed.
Okay, I don't see the dismissal.
I submitted it.
Just in.
Okay.
So I'll just watch 4 and 9. That's 2.
Okay. This is, the court is in session in 2 cases. First case is cause number M331016. Second case is cause number M332554. Both cases are style of state of Texas versus Shakita S. Costley. Ms. Costley, is that your full name?
Yes, sir.
Ms. Costley, would you please raise your right hand? Ms. Costley, do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth to help you God?
Yes, sir. I do.
Okay, you may put your hand down. I was just looking at this here, on the plea form. It says she's getting straight probation. They have 6 months, but they don't have the days that's gonna be probated. How many days is for 6 months? Huh?
It should be 100. Let me.
No, they don't have.
Probation, I was 6 months or.
No.
It was about, put the,
Okay.
the,
It needs- no.
Thank you, Your Honor.
it's 180 days probated for 1 year. Okay, this is caught. Now, Ms. Costley, you represented your case about Attorney Jones, how you doing?
Pretty good, John.
Mr. Jones, do you waive a record in Ms. Costley's cases?
Yes,
Ms. Costley, in cause number M332554, I have before me a document that was filed by the Jefferson County District Attorney's Office. Hold on a minute.
This
Yep.
Oh, here we go.
Right.
This document is titled Information. This information alleges that you, Charquita S. Costley, on or about April 16th of 2022, while you were in Jefferson County, Texas, that you committed the Class A misdemeanor offense of assault, family violence. Ms. Costley, do you understand what you've been charged with?
Yes, sir.
And to this charge, Ms. Costley, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest? Now, are you pleading guilty freely and voluntarily?
Yes, sir.
And are you pleading guilty because you are guilty?
Yes, sir.
Ms. Costley, I also have before me a document that is titled "The Misdemeanor Plea Admonishment," is also labeled as State's Exhibit Number 1. Do you recognize this document?
Yes, sir, I do.
On page 2 of the same document, there are a set of initials on the line. What? You pled guilty?
no contest, no contest.
And so you entered a plea of no contest?
Yes,
Now, are you pleading no contest freely and voluntarily?
Yes, sir.
And are you pleading no contest because you do not wish to fight or contest the charges?
Correct. Yes, sir.
Now, Ms. Costley, on page 2 of the State's Exhibit Number 1, the misdemeanor plea admonishment, there's a set of initials on a line next to a box that's checked no contingent, which means no contest. Did you place your initials on this document?
Yes, sir, I do.
On page 3 of this same document, there's a signature above the line that is titled defendant. Is this your signature?
Yes, sir, I do.
And I also have before me a document that is titled Trial Court Certification, the Defendant's Right of Appeal. Do you recognize this document? And is this your signature on the line that is titled Defendant?
Yes, sir, I do.
At the top of this document, there are 2 boxes that's checked. The first box that's checked states that this is a plea bargain case and you have no right of appeal. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir, I do.
Second box that's checked states that you're waiving your right to an appeal, which means you're giving up your right to an appeal. Do you understand that statement?
Yes, sir, I do.
I also have before me a document that is titled Discovery Certification. Do you recognize this document?
Yes, sir.
And is this your signature on the line that's
Yes,
titled
sir.
Defendant? Now, Ms. Costley, before you signed and initialed these documents, did you read the documents?
Yes, sir, I do.
And did your attorney go over these documents with you?
Yes, sir.
And did you read and understand everything that he went over?
Yes, sir.
And is everything in these documents true and correct
Yes.
to the best of your knowledge? Ms. Costley, are you a citizen of the United States?
Yes, sir, I am.
State, I have before me State's Exhibit Number 1, the misdemeanor plea admonishment, and State's Exhibit Number 2, the probable cause affidavit. State, would you like to offer State's Exhibits Number 1 and 2?
Yes, Your Honor.
Any objections?
none, Your Honor.
No objection. State's Exhibits Number 1 and 2 are admitted. Mr. Jones, you advised in counsel, Ms. Costley, is there any evidence that she is currently mentally incompetent to stand trial?
None, Your Honor.
Ms. Costley, your attorney, Mr. Jones, has advised and counseled you. Are you satisfied with his representation?
Yes, sir, I am.
Has he provided fully effective and competent legal representation?
Yes, sir, I am.
Ms. Costley, I will accept your plea of no contest. I will find that you are mentally competent to stand trial. I will also find that your plea and waivers was freely and voluntarily given. And I will also find that there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. State, do we have a plea bargain agreement?
Yes, we do.
And what is that agreement?
In exchange for the defendant's plea of no contest, the state offers to dismiss the WID. The defendant would plead of no contest and receive probation. 180 days probated for 1 year, $750 fine, 880 hours of community service, comply with conditions of BIP, and no contact with the victim. Mhm.
We're gonna have to write it down. So we're gonna put that, have to put the name on the judge.
Lynette,
The complaining witness is her husband, and she doesn't live, they don't live together, but they do share a daughter. So it may have to be a minimum.
Right, what, that's standard and that's fine, Judge, for anything that does do with the
you
child.
say they divorced?
No,
No.
we're not.
Y'all have, they
They
have
don't live
a,
together,
they have a temporary order in place?
No.
no. But they
Okay.
do have a child together. The child doesn't live with the father. But
So that's
occasionally,
pretty-
You said the child doesn't live with who?
well,
No.
The child lives with her?
Yes, sir.
Okay, well, they could get another person, a competent adult to,
if there's ever need.
Yeah. yeah, I mean, she can arrange somebody
Right.
else to transfer the child.
If,
They
yeah,
don't need to be in contact.
yeah, her parents would do that.
Okay,
He's not even paying child support because she's never filed child support order against him.
okay,
Child support request.
okay. Let's see, let me calculate. Now, what's the name of, no contact of, what's the victim's name?
Jamie Terrell Costley. JAMIE Costley.
Jamie,
Terrell, TERRELL.
TERRELL, Costley.
COSTLEY.
Okay. Let me calculate this right quick. How many months is that? That's 1 year. Okay, Mr. Costa, the state is offering that you serve 180 days in the Jefferson County Jail. You will not be required to serve any time in the Jefferson County Jail because you'll be placed on probation for 1 year. During the 1 year probationary period, you'll be required to pay a fine of $750. You'll be required to pay court costs of $342. You'll also be required to pay probation fee of $60 each month, a analysis fee, $15 each month, and a reimbursement fee of $15. Your total monthly installments, the total amount that you will be required to pay each month is $182 a month. Will you be able to pay $182 each month?
Sir.
You'll also be required to perform 80 hours of community service. You cannot have any contact with a Jamie Terrell Costley. The state will also dismiss cause number M331016, the companion case. And you'll also be required to adhere to the other standard terms and conditions of this probation. Ms. Costley, do you understand the state's offer?
Yes, sir.
Do you think that the state's offer in your case is fair and just?
Yes, sir, I do.
And do you accept the state's offer?
Yes, sir.
Ms. Costley, I'll follow the people who are in agreement that you have entered into the state. Ms. Costley, I'm signing the dismissal in clause number M331016. You'll be able to get a copy of that dismissal along with the other paperwork from our court clerk. You're going to stand on the X next to your attorney, follow the directions of the clerk. Once you get the paperwork, Ms. Porter, you gotta put your board number on here. Once you get the paperwork from the clerk, you'll be free to go. And you have a blessed day. And Mr. Jones, you'll be free to go as well. And you have a blessed day.
You do, sir.
Thank you. Yes, go on a minute.
Mason.
Hold on. Sorry. Think Presley,
Yes, sir.
what document
It's
is?
a trial document, it's a plea, everything's been done.
Mason Cole Presley. Oh, let me do this here. Before I do this, I need to go back and give Ms. Costley an admonition. Mr. Jones, I forgot to give Ms. Costley her written admonition. I'm gonna go over this document with you. Now, Ms. Costley, you're back on the record in cause number M332554. You have in your hand a document that is titled Model Written Ammunition on Ineligibility to Possess a Firearm Ammunition. Do you have that document?
Yes.
No. I'm going to go over this document with you. In accordance with the Texas Administrative Code, section 176.1, the court hereby admonish you of the following. Number one, you are by entry of order or judgment ineligible under Texas law to possess a firearm or ammunition. Number two, beginning now, if you possess a firearm or ammunition, it could lead to charges against you. If you have questions about how long you will be ineligible to possess a firearm or ammunition, you should consult an attorney. Number three, under Texas Penal Code section 46.013, A, firearms mean any device designed, made, or adapted to expel a projectile through a barrel by using the energy generated by an explosion or burning substance, or any device readily convertible to that use. B, firearms does not include a firearm that may have as an integral part a folding knife blade or other characteristics of weapons made illegal by Penal Code Chapter 46, and that is one, an antique or curio firearm manufactured before 1899, or two, a replica of an antique or curio firearm manufactured before 1899, but only if the replica does not use rimfire or centerfire ammunition. The statutes listed below are a starting point for ineligibility to possess a firearm or ammunition. For more information about the laws that make you ineligible to possess a firearm or ammunition, or for more information on how long your ineligibility to possess a firearm or ammunition lasts, the court recommends you contact an attorney. Code of Criminal Procedure Article 17.292, Magistrate's Orders for Emergency Protection. Code of Criminal Procedure Article 42.0131, Notice for persons convicted of misdemeanors involving family violence. Penal Code Section 46.02, Unlawful carrying weapons. Penal Code Section 46.04, Unlawful possession of firearm. Penal Code Section 25.07, violation of certain court orders or conditions of bond in a family violence, child abuse and neglect, sexual assault or abuse, indecent assault, stalking, or trafficking case. Family Code Section 85.026, warning on protective order. Now, Ms. Costley, the written admonition that you have in your hand is for your records. You're free to go, and you have a blessed day. Court is back in session and calls number M333476. Case is style the state of Texas versus Mason Cole Presley. Mr. Presley, is that your full name?
Yes, sir.
How are you doing, Mr. Presley?
Pretty good.
That's good. Mr. Presley, you're represented in your case by your attorney, Attorney Jason Nix. Attorney Nix, how are you doing?
I'm good, Judge.
That's good. Mr. Nix, do you waive a record
We do,
in
Your Honor.
Mr. Presley's case?
I do, Your Honor.
Mr. Presley. Did I swear you in? Or would you please raise your right hand, Mr. Presley? Do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth so help you God?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Presley, you may put your hand down. Mr. Presley, I have before me a document that is titled Information. This information was filed by the Jefferson County District Attorney's Office. In this document, it alleges that you, Mason Cole Presley, on or about June 12th of 2022, while you were in Jefferson County, Texas, operating a boat in Jefferson County, Texas, in a public waterway, that you committed the Class B misdemeanor offense of boating while intoxicated. Mr. Presley, do you understand what you have been charged with?
Yes, sir.
And to this charge, the Class B charge of boating while intoxicated, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
No comment.
Now, are you pleading no contest freely and voluntarily?
Yes, sir.
And are you pleading no contest because you do not wish to fight or contest the charges? Mr. Presley, I have before me a document that is titled misdemeanor plea admonishments. Do you recognize this document?
Yes, sir.
Let me see this. Yes, actually, you, check this, the box that had DWI.
I didn't check it because it's a voting while intoxicated. It
I know.
says DWI.
I know, I just scratched through the word driving
That'll work.
and put voting. So you're gonna have to check that box and take out that other, because they have the same punishment rate.
Yes, sure.
It's all the same conditions.
Yeah, I know,
It can be used for enhancement to a DWI.
right. Okay,
Taken care of. Good.
all right, thank you. But just that the difference on the voting while intoxicated. The minimum on a class B misdemeanor for DWI or voting while intoxicated is 72 hours, maximum is 180 days in the Jefferson County Jail. Do you understand that?
Okay.
And a fine from $0 to $2,000. Do you understand that? Okay. Now, do you recognize this document?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and put my initials where I had changed, I striked off driving to voting. Let me make sure I don't have to take nothing else out of here. Okay. Also, on page 2, there's a set of initials on the line next to the box that says check no contingent, which means no contest. Did you place your initials on this document?
Yes, sir.
On page 3 of this same document, there's a signature above the line that is titled defendant. Is this your signature?
Yes, sir.
On the next document that's titled trial court certification, the defendant's right of appeal, you recognize this document?
Yes, sir.
And is this your signature on the line that's titled defendant?
Yes, sir.
At the top of this document, there are 2 boxes that's checked. The first box that's checked states that this is a plea bargain case and you have no right of appeal. Do you understand that statement?
Yes, sir.
The second box that's checked states that you're waiving your right to an appeal, which means you're giving up your right to an appeal. Do you understand that statement?
Yes, sir.
And the next document is titled discovery certification. Do you recognize this document?
Yes, sir.
And is this your signature above the line that's titled defendant? You understand that?
Yes, sir.
Okay, is this your signature on the line that's titled defendant? Now, Mr. Presley, before you signed and initialed all of these documents that I just showed you, did your attorney, Mr. Nix, go over these documents with you?
Yes, sir.
And did you read and understand everything in these documents?
Yeah.
And is everything in these documents true and correct to the best of your knowledge?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Presley, are you a citizen of the United States?
Yes, sir.
State, I have before me State's Exhibit number 1, the misdemeanor plea admonishment, and State's Exhibit number 2, the probable cause affidavit. State, would you like to offer States 1 and 2?
Yes, Your Honor.
Any objections?
No objection to either states 1 or states 2.
No objection. States Exhibit 1 and 2 will be admitted into evidence. Mr. Nix, you've advised and counseled Mr. Mr. Presley. Is there any evidence that he is currently mentally incompetent to stand trial?
None at all, Your Honor.
Mr. Presley, your attorney, Mr. Nix, has advised and counseled you. Are you satisfied with his representation?
Yes, sir.
Has he provided full, effective, and competent legal representation?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Presley, I will accept your plea of no contest. I will find that you are mentally competent to stand trial. I will also find that your plea and waivers were freely and voluntarily given. And I will also find that there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. State, do we have a plea bargain agreement?
We do, Your Honor.
And what is that agreement?
In exchange for a plea of guilty or no contest, state agreed to recommend 90 days probated for 1 year, $1,000 fine and court costs, 80 hours community-based service, all other standard DWI voting while intoxicated probation time.
And that's correct, Your Honor.
Okay. Okay, Mr. Presley, the state is offering that you serve 90 days in the Jefferson County Jail. However, you will not be required to serve any time in the Jefferson County Jail on this case because you'll be placed on probation for 1 year. During the 1 year probationary period, you'll be required to pay a fine of $1,000 plus court costs of $407. You will also be required to pay a probation fee of $60 each month, a year absence fee of $15 each month, and you'll be required to pay a reimbursement fee. In addition, you'll be required to pay Jefferson County DWI education class and initial evaluation fee of $125 on the day of the plea. Should a further evaluation be needed, you'll be required to pay an additional $50. Now, your total monthly installments, that is the total amount that you'll be required to pay each month while you're on probation, is $211. Will you be able to pay the $211?
Yes, sir.
You'll also be required to perform 80 hours of community service, attend and complete a DWI education class, have a drug and alcohol assessment, and adhere to the other standard terms and conditions of DWI probation. Mr. Presley, do you understand the state's offer?
Yes, sir.
Do you think that the state's offer in your case is fair and just?
Yes, sir.
And do you accept the state's offer?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Presley, I will follow the plea bargaining agreement that you have entered into with the state. Mr. Presley, this will conclude your case. You're going to stand on the X next to your attorney, follow the directions of our clerk. Once you finish following the direct right here. Once you finish following her directions, you'll be free to go and you have a blessed day. Next case is cause number M331116. Case is style of state of Texas versus Brian Speech.
Put a date on it. Put a date on it. But it is. Yeah, we're looking at it. It's very long.
No, that's fine. Why is it check into the jail?
Yeah, and also.
Mr. Schillander. We had called you earlier, but you had stepped out.
Oh, I had to do a Zoom court, another court.
Oh, okay.
Oh, that's-
Jefferson County Court at Law number 2 is back in session. The court is in session in cause number 333116. The case is style of state of Texas versus Ryan Spees. Mr. Spees, is that your full name?
Yes.
Mr. Spees, would you please raise your right hand? Mr. Spees, do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth to help you God?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Spees, you may put your hand down. How are you doing, Mr. Spees?
All right, sir. How are you?
I'm doing fine. Thanks for asking. Mr. Spees, you are represented in your case by your attorney, Attorney Mel Schillander. Attorney Schillander, how are you doing?
Monday morning, I guess, okay.
Okay. And Mr. Schillander, do you waive a record in Mr. Spees' case?
We do.
Mr. Spees, I have before me a document that is titled information. This information was filed by the Jefferson County District Attorney's Office. In this information, Mr. Spees, it alleges that you, Brian Spees, on or about July 28 of 2022, while you were in Jefferson County, Texas, that you committed the Class B misdemeanor offense of failure to identify fictitious name. Mr. Spees, do you understand what you've been charged with?
Yes, sir.
And to this charge,
Judge, I wasn't sure if it's on my docket, it's listed as fugitive, an A. What
I'm
is
looking at,
the
no,
information?
refuse to give. Yeah, they failed to ID fugitive. That's what I have too on the docket. But the information says failed to identify a fictitious name.
Okay, then it's a B, it's not an A, it's wrong on the docket. So we just need to change the,
I put it as a B on my.
okay, if that's.
Yeah. Oh, well,
But I
he
think
got,
they got,
he checked the A, they got A and B on here.
but I crossed out the B because,
You can just erase this, erase.
okay, if mine wouldn't let me erase.
Yeah.
That's why I crossed.
Yeah.
out.
You could erase the A.
That's why, and it's got fugitive on that part, we need to scratch up
On what part?
on the.
On the plea papers?
Yes, sir.
I didn't get those.
No, that was on,
That's not,
y'all gonna have to call the DA's office. They must have put the wrong code in there.
not a big deal.
Failure to identify, this says fictitious name.
But fugitive isn't it?
Yeah. Failure to ID. You're dealing with you've been charged with a lesser offense.
No, I do. Yes, sir. Thank you.
Okay, that's all we're doing. So we're trying to get the paperwork correct. Okay. Fictitious. Okay, now let me do this again. Mr. Speech, I have before me an information that alleges that on or about July 28th of 2022, while you were in Jefferson County, Texas, that you committed the Class B misdemeanor offense of failure to identify fictitious name. Mr. Speech, do you understand what you've been charged with?
Yes, sir.
To this charge, Mr. Sampson, please put your mic on mute. And to this charge, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
No contest. No.
Now, are you pleading no contest freely and voluntarily?
Yes, sir.
And are you pleading no contest because you do not wish to fight or contest the charges?
Yes.
Mr. Speech, I have before me a document that is titled Misdemeanor Plea Admonishments. Do you recognize this document?
Yes, sir.
Now, you'll notice here that you'll see I scratched through some words to make sure that the plea paper reflect what is in the information. So, and I put my initials there.
The lesser charge. Yes. Sir.
Yes.
Thank you.
On page 2 of the same document, there's a set of initials on a line next to a box that's checked Nola Contingent. Did you place your initials on this document?
Yes, I did.
On page 3 of this same document, there's a signature above the line that's titled Defendant. Is this your signature?
It is.
And on the next document that's titled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Right of Appeal, do you recognize this document?
Yes, sir.
And is this your signature on the line that's titled Defendant?
It is, Your Honor.
At the top of this document, there is one box that's checked. The box that's checked state that this is a plea bargain case and you have no right of appeal. Do you understand that statement?
Yes, sir.
I also have before me a document that is titled Discovery Certification. You recognize this document?
Yes, sir.
And is this your signature on the line that's titled Defendant?
It is.
At the top of this document. Okay, I also have, let me see, Discovery Certification. Now, Mr. Speaks, before you signed and initial all of these documents that I just showed you, did your attorney go over these documents with you?
He did.
And did you read and understand everything that your attorney went over?
Yes, Your Honor.
And is everything in these documents true and correct to the best of your knowledge?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Speaks, are you a citizen of the United States?
I am.
State, I have before me State's Exhibit 1, the misdemeanor plea admonishment, and State's Exhibit 2, the probable cause affidavit state. Would you like to offer State's Exhibits number 1 and 2?
Yes, sir.
Any objections?
No objection.
No objection. State's Exhibit number 1 and 2 are admitted. Mr. Shalander, you advised in counsel, Mr. Speech. Is there any evidence that he is currently mentally incompetent to stand trial?
None to my knowledge.
Mr. Speech, your attorney, Mr. Shalander, has advised and counseled you. Are you satisfied with his representation?
Yes, sir.
Has he provided full, effective, and competent legal representation?
Yeah.
Mr. Speaks, I will accept your plea of no contest. I will find that you are mentally competent to stand trial. I will also find that your plea and waiver were freely and voluntarily given. And I will also find that there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. State, do we have a plea bargain agreement?
We do, Your Honor.
And what is that agreement?
In exchange for plea of guilty, no contest, states agreed to recommend 5 days in the Jefferson County Jail and court costs. The defendant has credit for 2 days at this time. And I believe he is going to report today on the day's date before 6 p.m.
Mr. Speaks, the state is offering that you serve 5 days in Jefferson County Jail. You'll be given credit for the 2 days that you've already served. The court cost in this case is $292. Will you be able to pay the court costs?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Speaks, do you understand the state's offer?
Yes, I do.
And do you think that the state's offer is fair and just?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Speaks, I will follow the plea bargaining agreement that you have entered into with the and Mr. Speaks, your jail time will begin at or before 6 p.m. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
Okay, our court clerk is going to give you some paperwork that you need to bring with you when you go to the jail. And you're gonna stand on the X next to your attorney, follow the directions of the clerk. Once you finish following her directions, you'll be free to go. And you have a blessed day.
Thank you, you too.
All right, you're welcome. Okay, Jefferson County Court at Law number 2 is back in session. The court is in session in cause number M328-542. Case is filed in the state of Texas versus Albert Ray Goss. Mr. Goss, is that your full name?
Yes.
Mr. Goss, would you please raise your right hand? Mr. Goss, do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth to help you God? Mr. Goss, you may put your hand down. How are you doing, Mr. Goss? That's good. Now, Mr. Goss, you're represented in this case by your attorney, Attorney Charles Rojas. Attorney Rojas, how are you doing?
I'm doing well, Judge. Thank you.
And Mr. Rojas, do you waive a record in Mr. Goss' case?
We did.
Mr. Goss, I have before me a document that is titled information. This information alleges that on or about October 15th of 2020, while you were in Jefferson County, Texas, that you committed the Class A misdemeanor offense of resisting arrest, search, transportation. Mr. Goss, do you understand what you have been charged with?
I don't know.
You know, the charge, Jimmy. I mean, you understand what you're being charged with. You understand that that's what they're charging you? Resisting.
Yeah, you've been here before. Yeah, it's not a new one. No. No, they not charging with something new. Yeah, no, it's the same one. It's the resisting arrest, search, transportation, which allegedly occurred on or about October 15 of 2020. Do you understand what you've been charged with? And to this charge, Mr. Goss, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, no contest? No contest? Now you pleaded no contest freely and voluntarily? Is somebody forcing you to plead no contest?
No, I'm pleading no contest.
Okay, and you pleaded no contest because you do not wish to fight or contest the charges, is that correct? Right, all right. Now, Mr. Goss, I also have before me a document that is titled Misdemeanor Plea Admonishment. Do you recognize this document? You need to show that to.
That's the one we signed earlier.
You recognize that? Okay, on page 2 of the same, he only put his first initial on the, he got an E, he didn't put his last initial. Okay, now, Mr. Goss, on page 2 of this document, there's a set of initials, EG, that are on a line next to a box that's check nola contendere. Did you place your initials on this document? On page 3 of this same document, there is a signature above the line. Is this his signature or are these his initials? Okay. Yeah. Oh, that's. Thank you. Okay, so. Okay, now, Mr. Goss, on page 3 of this document, there's a signature above the line that is titled Defendant's Signature. Is that your signature? On the next document that is titled Trial Court Certification to Defendant's Right of Appeal, do you recognize this document? And is this your signature on the line that's titled Defendant? At the top of this document, there are 2 boxes that's checked. The first box that's checked states that this is a plea bargain case and you have no right of appeal. Do you understand that statement?
Yes.
The second box that's checked states that you're waiving your right to an appeal, which means you're giving up your right to an appeal. Do you understand that statement? I also have before me a document that is titled Discovery Certification. Mr. Goss, do you recognize this document? And is this your signature on the line that's titled Defendant? Now, Mr. Goss, before you signed and initialed all of these documents that I just showed you, did your attorney, Mr. Rojas, go over these documents with you? And did you read and understand everything in these documents?
Yes.
And is everything in these documents true and correct to the best of your knowledge?
Yes.
Mr. Goss, Mr. Goss, are you a citizen of the United States?
Yes.
State, I have before me State's Exhibit number 1, the misdemeanor plea admonishment, and State's Exhibit number 2, the probable cause affidavit. State, would you like to offer States 1 and 2?
Yes, Your Honor.
Any objection, Mr. Rojas?
No, Your Honor.
No objection. States Exhibits 1 and 2 are admitted. Mr. Rojas, you advised in counsel, Mr. Goss, is there any evidence that he is currently mentally incompetent to stand trial.
Judge, I've discussed the case with Mr. Goss as well as with his sister. He does have some mental issues, none of which I think address competency. I think he's competent to go forward.
And just for the record, we have, I think, addressed those issues in the past. Is that correct?
Maybe before I got appointed.
Oh, okay, okay. Because I know we had, I think we did have some concern because and then I think we kind of addressed that.
Yes, I think before I got appointed.
Right, right. Now, Mr. Goss, your attorney, Mr. Rojas, is advised and counseled you. Are you satisfied with his representation? Has he provided full, effective, and competent legal representation? Yes, he did? Okay. Mr. Goss, I will accept your plea of no contest. I will find that you are mentally competent to stand trial. I will also find that your plea and waivers were freely and voluntarily given. And I will also find that there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. State, do we have a plea bargain agreement?
We do, Your Honor.
And what is that agreement?
In exchange for a plea of guilty or no contest, states agree to recommend 10 days in Jefferson County Jail and court costs. The defendant has credit for 10 days. That is to be time served and the tax will retire the court cost.
Okay, and just now you have his sister here with you.
We do, Your Honor.
Ma'am, you can come forward. Ma'am, would you please state your name?
Yes, Brenda Faye Franklin.
Ms. Franklin, how are you doing?
Okay.
Now, you've been here before,
Yes, sir.
and then I think in the past, we did have some concerns about your brother.
Yes.
And the court did address those concerns. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, and I think that was one of the main reasons why we took so long to get to the point that we're here today. Is that correct?
Yes.
Now, Mr. Goss, the state is offering that you serve 10 days in the Jefferson County Jail. You will not have to serve any more time in the Jefferson County Jail for this case because you've already served 10 days in the Jefferson County Jail. Therefore, you'll be given the 10 days credit that you have already served. The 10 days you've already served, you will not have to serve any more time in the Jefferson County Jail on this case. Do you understand that?
Yeah.
The court cost in this case is $302, but you would not be required to pay the $342 court cost. Why? Because the time that you have spent in jail has already paid it off. Therefore, the court cost will be taxed and retired. Do you understand that? Now, Mr. Goss, do you understand the state's offer? And do you think that the state's offer in your case is fair and just? And do you accept the state's offer? Okay, Mr. Goss, I will follow the plea bargain agreement that you have entered into with the state. And this will conclude your case. And before we leave, I know that you did have, there was some medical issues that that needed to be addressed before we get to this point. And I assume those medical concerns were addressed. Is that correct?
Yeah.
All right. Now, Mr. Goss, the court is going to follow the plea bargain agreement that you have entered into with the state. You're going to stand on the X next to your attorney and follow the recommendations of the clerk. Once you've finished following the clerk's recommendations and her instructions, you'll be free to go. You have a blessed day. Ms. Franklin, you're free to go as well. You have a blessed day. And Mr. Rojas, you're free to go as well, and you have a blessed day.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, this is cause number M333014. Case is filed the state of Texas versus Tashana Marie Brooks. Ms. Brooks, is that your full name?
Yeah.
How you doing, Ms. Brooks? That's good. Ms. Brooks, you're here represented by your attorney, Attorney Peter Dahl. Attorney Dahl, how you doing?
Pretty fair, Judge.
That's good. Mr. Dahl, what is your announcement in Ms. Brooks' case?
We'd like to have our trial maybe in a month.
Well, you set for jury trial today.
I thought it was for announcement today. And I got
Oh, it's trial today. You gotta be in it. You always have to be in Austin. That's the same thing you told us the last time you was up for trial.
try to get the court in Austin. Put it on, and we'll do it.
Well, what we gonna do, I mean, this is one of the April 20th. Well, we're gonna just give you a trial order. Okay, we don't have a number now. We're just gonna announce. You ready to state? Is the state ready?
We're ready.
Okay. We're gonna say ready. So stay in contact with your attorney, Ms. Brooks. He'll let you know. Normally we gotta be here tomorrow at 1:30. To pick a jury. I don't know if your case is gonna go, but we should know sometime this afternoon the trial order. What I do know, what we normally do is number the cases. We go with the older cases normally go first.
I can't be here tomorrow.
I understand, but I'm saying she's still gonna be in the trial order. Because I think another lawyer said that he was up here, he said he has a federal deal.
Justin, y'all.
And so, we might have to do it Wednesday, okay?
If you're gonna do that, can we set it on Thursday now?
Thursday, I say Wednesday.
No.
No, we're not setting it now. We just have to see the trial. You may not even be in the top cases, but we'll let you know. Just, our clerk is going to call your office. But we'll know something by probably in the next hour, okay?
Your court.
Okay, yeah, we'll let you know something. It's in the next hour. Okay. All right. Yeah, and this is let me see, he's probably gonna be toward the bottom, but
He was.
yeah, he's probably gonna be toward the bottom.
It's a new case, Judge.
Yeah.
Here.
Yeah, but we gotta see what the other case is gonna do. Right now, you're probably not near the top. Okay,
Thank you.
okay, you welcome.
Very clear.
Yeah, go ahead on and just reset them till tomorrow.
Okay.
Okay. And she needs you appear. And then you have your attorney, if we need him, okay. If we look at this docket and he's way at the bottom today, we're gonna call him and tell him to contact you that it's gonna be reset to another date. We'll give you another date. But right now, we just need to see how many cases we have set and where you fall in line on those cases.
Oh.
Okay. Okay, so tomorrow he'll just give you a reset, but if it needs to be reset from tomorrow, we'll let you know. All right. Next case is cause number, that's Patrick Gallagher. Cause number M327596, case of style of state of Texas versus Patrick Daniel Gallagher. Mr. Gallagher? Okay.
Yes, sir.
How are you doing?
Fantastic. How you doing, Judge?
I'm doing fine now. Mr. Gallagher, you're represented in your case by your attorney, Dustin Galmore. Attorney Galmore is not here. And we have another attorney that is going to make an announcement for Mr. Galmore. And Mr. Gertz will be standing in for Mr. Galmore. And Mr. Gertz, what
Yes,
is
sir.
that Mr. Galmore relayed to you?
He says he's ready on this case, but he's also still open to negotiations with the DA.
Okay, State, what's your announcement?
We're ready.
Ready, all right.
He is unable to pick a jury,
Yeah, he's unable to pick a jury tomorrow because he's in federal court.
either one of these cases.
Right,
Yeah.
so if you know,
That makes
if
some extra
if he's up, then may have to pick a jury on Wednesday.
Okay.
All right, Mr. Gallagher, stay in contact with your attorney.
Yes, sir.
Stay in contact with your attorney. Your case is set for trial. We'll let your attorney know the trial order this afternoon. Okay, and then he'll let you know when if you were number one, that he'll let you know when you need to appear in courts for us to pick the jury on your case.
Yes, sir.
All right, all right. You're free to go and you have a blessed day.
You too, Your Honor. Have a good day.
All right, thank you. Next case is cause number M331406, case of style of state of Texas versus Stephen Anthony Sampson Jr. We have Mr. Sampson that is on Zoom. Mr. Sampson, how are you doing? Mr.
Very
Sampson?
well.
Okay. Mr. Sampson, you represented in your case by your attorney, Dustin Galmore, who appeared in court earlier. Mr. Galmore has Mr. Ryan Gertz that's standing in for him, who's going to make his announcement. And Mr. Gertz, what is the announcement in Mr. Sampson's case?
Judge, the same thing. He's ready. Still open to negotiations with the DA, but it sounds like he's got a bit of a conflict tomorrow. We'll could pick a jury on Wednesday.
Okay,
If y'all
State.
agree.
We're ready. Yeah.
ready? Okay. All right, we'll get with Mr. Galmore and give him the trial order. If your case is up, Mr. Sampson, then you'll be here on Wednesday. And your attorney will give you the time for us to pick a jury. It'd probably be more like 1:30. Okay, stay in contact with your attorney. You're free to go and you have a blessed day. And Mr. Gertz, do you have anything?
I've got one case.
Thank you.
Okay, you're welcome. And
Prosecutors said they're ready.
okay,
Ready and less call, right?
Okay, ready when they call.
I'm ready and less call. Judge, I'm ready.
okay, next calls number 23CCCR 0464, the case of the state of Texas versus Travis Colton Bruce. Mr. Bruce, Mr. Bailiff, would you please get Mr. Bruce?
Yeah.
This is cause number
Good.
23CCCR 0446, case of style of state of Texas versus Travis Colton Bruce. Mr. Bruce, is that your full name? Okay, how are you doing, Mr. Bruce? I'm doing fine. Thanks for asking. Mr. Bruce, you're represented by your attorney, Ryan Gertz. Attorney Gertz, what is your announcement in Mr. Bruce's case?
Judge, this is a new case. We don't have video. We don't have blood results back. We're waiting on a variety of other things. Do we maybe reset for 60 days and see where we are?
Give us
That's
a-
fine, yeah.
Okay, give us a reset date.
October 2nd.
Let's go October 2nd. I'm gonna be going. 23rd.
Okay, October 2nd, 2023 is your reset date. Your attorney's gonna get your reset. Once you get your reset from your attorney, you'll be free to go and you have a blessed day. You're welcome. Ms. Carrazzo? Okay, Jordan Livingston? Where is he? Is he? Okay. Debs County Court at law number 2 is in session and calls number M332008, case of style of state of Texas versus Jordan Michael Livingston. Mr. Livingston, is that your full name?
Yes, sir.
How you doing, Mr. Livingston?
I'm doing well, Your Honor. How about yourself?
I'm doing fine, thanks for asking. Mr. Livingston, you're represented in your case by your attorney, Attorney Laura Perazo. Attorney Perazo, how are you doing?
I'm doing well, thank you.
Ms. Perazo, what is your announcement in Mr. Livingston's case?
Your Honor, so
Livingstone.
we just finished reviewing all of the discovery. I don't believe I've received an offer. If I could have a short recess so I can meet with the prosecutor, I
Okay,
can see if we can work something out.
This case is on the trial docket, huh?
It is, but it's only 1 year old.
Well, I was hired in May. and
Oh,
so-
this year?
Yes.
Oh, okay. How did it get on the trial docket? It was already on the trial docket or something?
I don't know.
Well, I think that was the last decision that my previous lawyer had made.
Oh, yeah, a previous attorney put it on the trial docket
I wasn't trying to go that.
and then you substituted in.
Yes.
And so the case is still on the trial docket.
So can we,
Okay.
do we need to take it off the trial?
If we could put it on.
Announcement night, because
That might be better.
both.
Okay. Okay, give us a reset date.
Friday.
No, they're gonna put it on the announcement because which one?
September.
September 25th?
Yes.
Okay, this case will reset to September 25th of 2023. Ms. Perazo, you get your reset. Once you get your reset from your attorney, you'll be free to go. You have a blessed day. And Ms. Perazo, this is your only case?
Yes,
You're free to go as well and you have a blessed day.
thank you, Judge.
One minute. Debs County Court at law number 2 is back in session. The court is in session and calls number M331150. Case is style of state of Texas versus Jacqueline Sevilla Hill. Ms. Hill is appearing via Zoom. Ms. Hill, you can take your mic off of mute. Ms. Hill, how are you doing?
I'm doing well. Give me one moment. Okay, I'm doing well.
Okay, now, Ms. Hill, the last time you was in court, June 22nd of 2023, your attorney at that time, Mr. Bruce Smith, had withdrew from your case, and your case
Correct.
reset to give you an opportunity to hire another attorney. Have you hired your attorney?
I've been trying to get in contact with like the same attorneys, but they're not, answering my phone calls. I think it's because they work closely with Bruce Smith, so I'm gonna end up having to go with a different way. Because one person told me that they were gonna have to talk to them and they were gonna return my calls, but nothing ever happened.
Okay, now, Ms. Hill, we're gonna reset your case to give you an opportunity to hire your attorney, but you need to be here in person, next court setting. Or do you understand that?
Yes, sir. What day would that be?
Okay, give us a reset date. September 25th.
Okay,
Okay,
alrighty.
case is reset till September 25th. You reset, make sure you note that for your record.
Excuse me,
If you have a bondsman, your bondsman will be given notice of your reset date.
excuse me. Can I just go ahead and do the court appointed because I live in Katy?
Well, you're gonna have to be here, you're gonna have to be here in person to fill out the paperwork,
Okay,
okay?
alrighty,
So you need to be here in person on that date.
okay.
All right, so your case is reset to September 25th. Let me do this here. She's gonna do it. She's gonna do an attorney. Can we move that date up? What we're gonna do, we're gonna move that date up because you need it, so we can get you in to do the paperwork. And if you qualify for a court-appointed attorney, your attorney is gonna be appointed that day.
Okay, what's the latest date that y'all have possible?
August 28th.
Oh Lord, oh, I can't make it out there this month.
That's next month.
Well, yeah, tomorrow.
Yeah,
It's
I
a new
know.
month.
I know.
I live far and I own a business and I can't do that month because it's back to school.
What's the next first week in the next month? Okay, it's gonna be reset to September 11th.
Okay, I can do that.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Your reset will be your bonds. When you get a copy, you reset. You're free to go, and you have a blessed day.
Same to you. Bye-bye.
All right. Jefferson County Court of Laws back in session. Court is in session and cause numbers M326302 and cause number M326304. Cause number M326306. All three cases are styled the state of Texas versus Jalen David Welcome Sutton. Jalen Sutton was scheduled to be in court this morning for the court's announcement docket, jury trial docket for 9 a.m. At about 9 a.m., Mr. Welcome Sutton's name was called. He did not answer. A reasonable time has passed to give Mr. Sutton an opportunity to appear in court. The bailiff also called his name again at the courthouse door at 11:57 a.m. on today's date. He did not answer again. Reasonable time has passed to give Mr. Welcome Sutton an opportunity to appear in court. He is not appearing in court. State, do you have a motion?
Yeah, statement for bond forfeiture
All three cases.
on all three.
That those motions will be granted. Jalen David Welcome Sutton bond will be forfeited and the warrant should be issued for arrest and cause numbers M326 304, cause number M326306, and cause number M326302. All three cases, Mr. Sutton's bond will be forfeited and a warrant should be issued for his arrest in those cases. And Mr. Vasquez, I think this is the only cases you have.
Yes, no,
You're free to go and you have a blessed day.
he is one. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah. Jefferson County Court at Law number 2 is back in session. Court is in session in two cases, cause numbers M332120, cause number M332122. Both cases are styled the state of Texas versus Nicholas Austin Tobin. Mr. Tobin, is that your full name?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Tobin, would you please raise your right hand? Mr. Tobin, do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Tobin, you may put your hand down. Mr.
The 3 guns.
I got three cases.
The 3 guns, Judge, not 3. You got 2 cases, but 3 guns.
Oh, you did motions for each one, okay. Now, Mr. Tobin, in cause number M332120, I have before me 3 motions to forfeit the weapons in that case. Mr. Tobin, show you each one of these motions. Mr. Tobin, do you recognize these motions?
Yes, sir.
Now, Mr. Tobin, is this your signature on the line that says defendant?
Yes, sir. They're all 3 on.
Okay, on this one too,
Yes, sir.
and on the third.
Yes, sir.
Now, Mr. Tobin, before you sign these motions, did you read the motion?
Yeah, no.
You didn't read the motion? You didn't read this?
Oh, yeah, I read over that. Yes, yes, sir.
This is what I'm talking about.
Yes, yes, sir.
Okay. Did you understand what you read?
Yes, sir.
And is everything in these documents true and correct
Yes, sir.
to the best of your knowledge?
Yes.
And do you want the court to grant these motions to forfeit weapons in that case?
Yes, sir.
Okay, court is signing a motion to forfeit.
Your Honor, the 2 cases on the trial court's docket, part of that were because he has been placed on probation in felony court. Therefore, we're dismissing the 2 misdemeanor cases.
Okay,
And the felony number is on each motion.
okay. Okay, now, Mr. Tobin, the court have signed these motion to forfeit the weapons in this case to the Beaumont Police Department. And the state has filed the motion to dismiss the case. Cause number M332122. And cause number M332120. Both of these cases are being dismissed by the state. State, is that correct?
Correct, Your Honor. And the state judge will want to front you the PC for supporting documents for the forfeitures if you'd like, We need to, I'm not sure we need.
Well, it's just on on that one case, yeah.
Yeah, for sure. I'll.
Okay.
Busy.
Then Mr. Tobin, I'm signing the motions to dismiss right now.
Yes, sir.
You'll be able to get a copy from our court clerk who's sitting to my immediate right. She's going to give you a copy of the motion to dismiss in each one of these cases. And once you get a copy of the motion to dismiss, you'll be free to go. And you have a blessed day.
Yes, sir. Thank you. You too.
Okay.
Oh, don't touch. Okay.
I do each. Thank you.
Donata is here?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
He's gonna be-
Mr. Donata?
Thanks, man.
Okay, this is cause number M 332-922, case of style of state of Texas versus Quentin N. Donata. Mr. Donata, is that your full name?
Yes.
Okay, how you doing, Mr. Quentin Donata? I'm doing fine, thanks for asking, Mr. Donata. You're represented by your attorney, Attorney Marvin Lewis. Attorney Lewis, how are you doing?
Yes, how you doing?
I'm doing fine, Mr. Lewis. What is your announcement in Mr. Donata's case?
Judge, we're asking that it be set on another announcement setting. He has a felony pending right now. That was reset to September 18th.
Want to set on the same day?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so Mr. Donata, your cases will be set on the same day that your felony cases. On that day, you're gonna come and check in this court first, then go take care of the felony, then you come back here. You understand? Okay, your attorney is going to,
You just check me in and go over there.
yeah, you just come in, when you come in the morning, the bailiff calls the name, let him know that you're here, and then go take care of your felony matter. And then once you're finished with your felony case, then you'll come back here, and then, because if it's reset, it'll probably be reset, or if it's disposed of, then your attorney will tell us what he wants to do with the case or the cases. All right. So, Mr. Donata, your attorney is going to get your reset. Once you get your reset from your attorney, you're free to go and you have a blessed day.
Thank you, Judge.
All right. Mr. West. Joby Denson.
We've got it.
Yep.
Make sure you talk to the.
I don't want to. Have a, yeah.
You had them.
Jefferson County Court, Law number 2 is back in session. Court is in session. And cause number M330682, case of style of the state of Texas versus Joby Jerome Denson. Mr. Denson, is that your full name?
Yes.
Mr. Denson, would you please raise your right hand? Mr. Denson, do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? Mr. Denson, you may put your hand down. How you doing, Mr. Denson? I'm doing fine. Thanks for asking, Mr. Denson. You're represented in this case by your attorney, Attorney John West. Attorney West, how are you doing?
Good, Your Honor, thank you.
Mr. West, do you waive a record in Mr. Denson's case?
We do, Your Honor.
Mr. Denson, I have before me a document that is titled information. This information is filed by the Jefferson County District Attorney's Office. In this information, it alleges that you, Joby Jerome Denson, on or about June 13 of 2021, while you were in Jefferson County, Texas, that you committed the Class A misdemeanor offense of criminal mischief. Mr. Denson, do you understand what you've been charged with?
Yes,
And to this charge, Mr. Denson, how did you plead? Guilty, not guilty, no contest?
no contest.
Now, you pleading no contest freely and voluntarily?
Yes,
And are you pleading no contest because you do not wish to fight or contest the charges? Mr. Denson, I also have before me a document that is titled misdemeanor plea admonishment, which is also labeled as State's Exhibit number 1. Mr. West, you could just check the Class A misdemeanor on there.
Oh, I'm sorry. I checked the wrong name, right.
Okay, Mr. Denson, I have before me a document that is titled misdemeanor plea admonishment. Do you recognize this document?
yes,
Now, your attorney just checks the box that states that this is a Class A misdemeanor punishment range for a Class A misdemeanor is confinement in jail for a term not to exceed 1 year, a fine not to exceed $4,000, or you could be given both such fine and confinement. Do you understand that?
yes,
On page 2 of this same document, there are a set of initials on the line next to a box to check no contendere. Did you place your initials on this document?
I did.
On page 3 of this document, there's a signature above the line that's titled defendant. Is this your signature?
Yes,
And on the next document that's titled trial court certification, the defendant's right of appeal, do you recognize this document?
yes,
And is this your signature on the line that's titled defendant?
yes,
At the top of this document, there are 2 boxes that's checked. First box that's checked states that this is a plea bargain case and you have no right of appeal. Do you understand that statement? The second box that's checked states that you're waiving your right to an appeal, which means you're giving up your right to an appeal. Do you understand that statement? I also have a document before me that is titled discovery certification. Do you recognize this document? Do you recognize it? Now, is this your signature on the line that's titled defendant?
yes,
Now, before you sign and initial all of these documents that I just showed you, did your attorney go over these documents with you? You need to go on this one? Okay, let me give him that.
This is Mr.
Okay, Mr. Denson, I have before me a document that is titled discovery certification. You recognize this document?
yes,
And is this your signature on the line that is titled defendant?
yes,
Now, Mr. Denson, before you sign and initial all of these documents that I just showed you, did your attorney, Mr. West, go over these documents with you?
yes,
And did you read and understand everything in these documents?
I do, Your Honor.
And is everything in these documents true and correct to the best of your knowledge?
Yes,
Oh, I'm sorry. Your Honor.
And Mr. Denson, are you a citizen of the United States?
I am.
State, I have before me State's Exhibit 1, the misdemeanor plea admonishment, and State's Exhibit number 2, the proper cause affidavit, which is in the court's file. State, would you like to offer State's Exhibits 1 and 2?
I mean, yes, sir.
Okay,
No objection.
no objection. State's Exhibits 1 and 2 are admitted. Mr. West, you advise the counsel, Mr. Denson, is there any evidence that he is currently mentally incompetent to stand trial?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Denson, your attorney, Mr. West, has advised and counseled you. Are you satisfied with his representation?
Yes,
Has he provided full, effective, and competent legal representation?
yes,
Mr. Denson, I will accept your plea of no contest. I will find that you are mentally competent to stand trial. I will also find that your plea and waivers were freely and voluntarily given. I also find that there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. State, Do we have a plea bargain agreement?
We do, Your Honor.
And what is that agreement?
In exchange for plea of guilty, no contest, states agreed to recommend 20 days in Jefferson County Jail and court costs. Also restitution in the amount of $1,624.31 payable to, it's a name, Cifuentes is the last name, it's on the plea paper too. But the defendant has credit for 20 days, that's just to be time served. Tax and retires court costs, and I have received money orders for the amount. I'm gonna bring that up, and the complaining witness will get the restitution amount. The defendant paid it in full through 4 separate money orders. It's a Mrs. Cifuentes.
Yes, I'm writing it down right now. Okay. Mr. Denson, the state is offering that you serve 20 days in Jefferson County Jail, but you will not have to serve any more time in Jefferson County Jail on this case because you've already served 20 days in Jefferson County Jail. Therefore, you can give them credit for the time that you've already served. The court cost in this case is $287, but you will not be required to pay the $287 court cost because the time that you spent in jail has already paid off the court costs. Therefore, the court cost will be taxed and retired. The state has received, also part of this was a restitution to be paid in the amount of $1,624.31 to Adalia Para Benitez Cifuentes, or Cifuentes. And if I'm not mistaken, the state has already received the restitution. Is that correct?
We do have.
All right.
Just first.
Okay, now, Mr. Denson, do you understand the state's offer?
Yes,
Do you think that the state's offer in your case is fair and just?
I do.
And do you accept the state's offer?
Yes.
Mr. Denson, I'll follow the plea bargaining agreement that you have entered into with the state. Now, Mr. Denson, you're going to stand on the X next to your attorney, follow the directions of our clerk to my immediate right. Once you finish following her directions, you'll be free to go, and you have a blessed day. Okay, yeah. Yeah, hold on. reset for September 25th. State is gonna, the court is gonna grant the state's motion with continues. Mr. McDonald,
Or would I,
just,
I don't have to subpoena or anything.
they subpoenaed him.
I guess so, all right. Thank
Yeah, that's their witness.
you.
All right. Just have a seat in the third chair by the wall. You get your reset. Yeah. Okay, this is, what happened? Oh, he wound up. You said, yeah, he was. Okay, Mr. Before we go any further, Mr. Paget,
Yes, Your Honor.
we noticed that you had zoomed back in. I thought we was through with all of your cases.
Well, I had a case on the trial docket, Your Honor, and
Oh,
once I started talking to about it, you'd already got involved in something else, so I figured I would come back.
That Morrison,
Yes, Donovan Morrison.
Donovan Morrison here, he was.
He should be present in
Oh,
the
here he is,
court.
right there. Mr. Morrison, would you please come forward? Okay, this is cause number M334138, case of South State of Texas versus Donovan Heath Morrison. Mr. Morrison, how are you doing?
Good, how are you doing?
I'm doing fine. Mr. Morrison, you're represented in your case by your attorney, Attorney James Paget, who is appearing via Zoom. Mr. Paget, how are you doing?
Doing well, Your Honor.
That's good. Mr. Paget, what is your announcement in Mr. Morrison's case?
We're ready to go forward, Your Honor.
State?
We're ready for trial.
Okay, so Mr. Morrison, you need to be back here tomorrow at 1:30. All right. Our court coordinator is gonna get you reset. Once you get your reset, you're free to go and you have a blessed day. And Mr. Paget, you're free to go. His case
Yes,
is
Your Honor.
1:30 on tomorrow. Talk to you later.
Thank you.
Have a blessed day. Livingston County Code of Law number 2 is back in session. The court is in session and calls number M333044, case of South State of Texas versus Donald LaFleur Jr. Mr. LaFleur, is that your full name?
Yes.
How you doing, Mr. LaFleur? That's good, Mr. LaFleur. I see here you was in court on February 11th of 2023. At that time, you stated you wanted to have your case reset to give you an opportunity to hire your attorney. Have you hired your attorney?
No, sir, I got a stack of more money. I have most of them. I need a little more.
So you talked to an attorney?
Yes, Thomas Burbank.
Okay, so how much more time you need? Okay, give us a reset date. Down on the floor, page 5, announcement docket, the hire, say we're gonna hire attorney, Burbank. Okay, this case is gonna be reset to September 25th, 2023. Once you get your reset, you'll be free to go. You're gonna have a seat in that chair, the big chair by the wall. Okay,
Thanks, sir.
you are. Who is it, McDonough?
Your Honor, can I ask you a question?
Hold on, wait up. Hold on, she has your reset, hold on.
Before I do that, I want to, just,
Okay, well, just have a seat. We have some other cases to call. No, we had provided him an interpreter the last time that was here. And his interpreter and his attorney are not here at this time, so we're gonna have to reset this case so that they can appear together. Okay, you have no objections?
No.
Okay. We're going to reset Mr. Nguyen's case. And Mr. Nguyen, you have someone who's here who speaks English. we're gonna reset his case, and once we reset his case, you can explain to him that he needs to come to court on that day. All right. Just have a seat in that chair right there.